Hey guys, it's Tony, and no. Hey guys, it's Tony, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Hey guys, it's Tony, and does my hair really look that bad? There we go, much better. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name's Tony, and I want to go over the books that I'll be reading for the month of July. Go over is The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. It's basically a book about habits, which I hope you could tell by the front cover. But more importantly, it has to do with why we do what we do on a subconscious level. So why do you go for the cake instead of going for the broccoli? I've read quite a few self-help books over the past few months because I need help. Basically, I've always liked the idea of reading books that give you knowledge into your inner workings of yourself, so I think that there'd be a good thing to continue on, and I will continue reading those books in the future. But I wanted to start out with The Power of Habit because obviously I'm trying to do this whole YouTube thing, so I think that if I read this, it will help me out. Also, school will be starting up in the next month, so I really wanted to get it for that. That's why I wanted to read it. And the next book I'll be reading is one that quite a few of you probably know of. It is The Hobbit. The Hobbit is a book by J.R.R. Tolkien. It is basically a series of books called Lord of the Rings, which you should be familiar of. I've seen the movies, but I've never read the book. And I've always wanted to read the books, but I've never gotten around to it. But I've recently started reading a book called Elantris by Brandon Sanderson, and it was such a phenomenal fantasy book that it made me want to dive into more fantasy books. And I said to myself, what better way to start than The Hobbit? The Hobbit is a book about a hobbit named Bilbo Baggins. Bilbo Baggins goes on a bunch of magnificent adventures around Mordor and gets into a lot of trouble. It is a good fantasy book from what I've heard. This book in particular is actually borrowed from my friend, so you can see that all the creasings and everything, he's read it plenty of times. But a beat-up book is still a good book. The next and final book I'll be reading for the month of July is going to be a book called A Fallen Kingdom by Morgan Rhodes. It is another fantasy book, so as you can tell, I'm trying to get into the fantasy scene. It is also a book that centers around 4 different characters around the time of war about to break out, along with a sprinkle of fantasy elements put in there, and with the fact that I've heard it's kind of similar to Game of Thrones. Spoiler alert, another book series I'll be reading soon. I think it will make a really good fantasy book to read, especially since this is my birth month. I think that it will be a fun reading month. And I think it's just going to be a really fun book that will help me want to read more. Thanks for watching that whole video, guys. Over the next few weeks, whenever I finish a book, I will be giving another in-depth review of it, which will basically encompass, say, what my thoughts and feelings were about that particular book. And you can expect that within the next few weeks. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye.